like to first of all sincerely apologize for the delay and for starting at this time. But I promise you're still going to have an amazing time. You're still going to learn a lot. Your time is not going to be wasted at the end of the day. All right, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Jessica Onotu, and I'm privileged to be the co-host for today. And this is...
My name is Shola Daniel, and I'll be your co-host for today.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, you guys didn't clap for us. I'm sure you guys are annoyed, but we're sorry. All right, so yesterday we started our Abuja Tech Converge, the first. That's the pilot. This is the first time we are organizing an Abuja Tech Converge here, and so we started yesterday with some panel discussions. I mean, a couple of you were here yesterday, where we invited the likes of, co-founder of Sudo Africa, the co-founder of Payforce that recently exited, sold his company to Fair Money. There was also the former governor of Bauchi State, Malam Issa Yuguda. He came here yesterday. We also had some other government officials here. So it was a very great event. So let's put our hands together for ourselves for how yesterday's event went. All right, so today we're going to be having a couple of interesting things. There's going to be our tech-a-thon, right? So what's going to happen today is a couple of people from yesterday have been working on a hackathon, building different products. So in today we'll be able to see what they've been working on since yesterday. And there's a cash prize of 2 million naira for the winner. So let's put our hands together for them. Put your hands together for OCP, Providus, and Thrive. 2 million naira is a lot of money. Yeah, so I think it's going to be very interesting today. There's also some other gifts for people, second runner up, first runner up, so that everybody just wins something at the end of the day. All right. So next on the agenda is I'm going to be inviting Mr. Obaka Ikani to take us on the welcome address. So Mr. Obaka is an agribusiness and supply chain professional with several years of experience. He works with ThriveAgric as head of value-added services, leveraging technology to provide profitable support for smallholder farmers across Africa to strengthen the agricultural value and supply chain towards increasing food production. He holds certifications in supply chain management and also an alumni of the Lagos State Business School of Agricultural Business Management Program. So please, without further ado, let's put our hands together as I welcome Mr. Obaka Ikani.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Daniel. We are here today again. I welcome you all to this very great event. Yesterday we were here and it was so beautiful to have everyone here. We had thought-provoking sessions, 4 very good breakout sessions and 3 panel sessions. And they were all thought-provoking. Key takeaway for me yesterday was basically about how we needed to collaborate. And I expect to see all of that engagement today when we have our networking session. Also, one of the things that was stressed yesterday was about knowing your user, and those were key takeaways for me. I don't know what were your expectations, but I expect that you've come here empty to take a lot, and we are ready to give you a lot. We're ready to meet your expectations. For the Techathon, I want to encourage that you give it your best. 2 million naira is a lot of money. And yes, we hope to make it better and bigger next year. Thank you very much. You're very welcome on behalf of the management of ThriveAgric, our indefatigable CEO, Oka AJ. We welcome you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obaka. Now we're watching some videos from OCP Africa, ThriveAgric, and Providus Bank. So please pay attention to your screens. Thank you.
Food is critical to your existence, but where does it come from? Where does your food come from? It comes from them. At ThriveAgric, our vision is to build an Africa that feeds herself and the world. We are passionate about food security, and we believe that smallholder farmers are key to unlocking our continent's unrivaled food production potential. But these primary food producers face three major challenges: access to finance to purchase quality farm inputs like seeds, fertilizers, and crop protection products; access to contemporary and data-driven farming best practices to get the best yield at the end of the farming season; and access to local and global markets where they can get the best prices for their produce after harvest. This is where we come in. Our work at ThriveAgric is focused on solving these three problems using technology. We link smallholder farmers to capital in form of input financing and services. We provide them with tailored data-driven advisory, training, and development throughout the farming season. And we make available post-harvest services and connect them directly to local and global markets for their commodities. Oh, and when we say using technology, we mean our technology, an agricultural operating system, AOS, built to enable and enhance several agricultural processes, such as capturing farmer data during onboarding, identifying coordinates and measuring farmland size during farm mapping, calculating adequate farmer input required during input distribution, tracking crop growth and progress during field monitoring, and managing inventory of commodities received at harvest, including storage, sales, and shipment to off-takers. Our mission is simple. We want to build the largest network of profitable farmers across Africa, ensuring there's always food for all.
Na samu karuwa kaman irin na sayi mashin haka da nake hawa, ba ni nake hawa ma barawa nake ake mun a caba da shi haka. Nake samun abin da zan yi da abin nan ina da sauransu harkokin rayuwa na ba tare da na je wajen wani na kai kaina wajen abin nan ba.
This means helping smallholder farmers gain improved livelihoods to promote a sustainable structure for more commercial than subsistence farming. So, where does your food come from? Now you know. And just like the food we bring you, we're keeping our brand fresh and focused on building an Africa that feeds herself and the world. ThriveAgric, enabling agriculture first for the farmer.
Fertilizers Nigeria Limited is leading collaborative efforts with stakeholders to help increase productivity in Nigeria's agricultural sector. Blessed with over 43.7 million hectares of arable land and a young population to farm the land, Nigeria has great potentials to feed itself and be a net exporter of food. Sadly, this is not the case, as the country's large farming population is barely able to meet the local demand for staple food like rice, sorghum, beans, wheat, tomatoes, and maize. The root causes of the low productivity include poor agricultural practices, very limited knowledge of soil fertility and nutrients management, poor access to finance and market, and poor distribution channels. For example, in more agriculturally advanced countries, as much as 180 to 300 kilograms of fertilizer is applied per hectare. Nigeria is yet to achieve the very modest 2006 Abuja Declaration target of 50 kilograms per hectare. To unlock the potentials in Nigeria's agricultural ecosystem, farmers should have access to high-quality farm input, technology, training, extension services, and secured markets for their produce. With over a century of intensive investment and proven results, as the foremost producer of phosphate-based fertilizers to countries across the world, OCP Group, a Moroccan entity, created OCP Africa, a subsidiary solely focused on supporting the growth and development of agriculture in Africa. OCP Africa Fertilizer Nigeria Limited, a subsidiary of the OCP, to supporting structured and sustainable agriculture in Nigeria. Anchored on these 5 key pillars: local production, research and development, distribution capacity expansion, farmer training, and women and youth empowerment, OCP Nigeria is positioned to enable the growth of Nigeria's agricultural ecosystem. OCP's first action to support local production in Nigeria was by guaranteed supply of discounted phosphate to the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, PFI, of the Federal Government of Nigeria. This bilateral cooperation opened the doors to massive NPK fertilizer production. 3 years into the PFI, Nigeria's NPK blending capacity has increased from 9 plants to over 34 plants, with OCP actively investing in 3 ultra-modern blending plants in Sokoto, Kaduna, and Ogun states. These 3 plants will boost local production capacity by additional 500,000 metric tons of blended NPK fertilizer annually and create over 400 jobs to Nigerians. The blending plants will also serve as model training centers for other stakeholders. With an investment budget of $42.4 million, the blending plants are expected to introduce various formulas tailored to farmers' customized needs, provide modern production capacity for existing players in the fertilizer industry, expand supply to meet market growth and help stabilize the market. OCP Nigeria is investing significantly in research and development as a means of modernizing farming in Nigeria. Over the past 4 years, OCP has invested more than $3 million in sponsoring research in partnership with local and international research agencies such as the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, NCRI, CRIN, and NRCRI. Other research partners include NIFOR, NIHOT, IARNT Ibadan, IAR Zaria, NISS, SSSN. OCP continues to work with these partners to develop soil and crop-specific fertilizer formulations for staple crops such as rice, maize, oil palm, wheat, potatoes, soybean, cassava, sorghum, and tomatoes. Having developed the right fertilizer formulations, farmers need to be sensitized on fertilizer usage and application. Initiatives such as the OCP School Lab, OCP Agri Booster, OCP Farm and Fortune Hub, EMA, Farm and Fortune TV and radio programs, and Farm and Fortune Digital, which includes Udungo and Agro Plus, have been developed to enhance farmer sensitization and adoption efforts. These initiatives have continuously evolved to reach more Nigerian farmers over the years. From 2 projects in 2017 that reached 15,000 farmers to 6 innovative projects estimated to reach 4.6 million farmers in 2021. These 6 initiatives complement one another, creating formidable clusters of informed farmers. The OCP School Lab, OSL, is a mobile soil testing laboratory that provides farmer training, soil testing and fertilizer recommendation. With 5 OSL mobile trucks deployed across 9 states, covering 1,214 farming communities within the past 3 years, over 238,000 farmers have been reached with good agricultural practice gap training, soil testing and fertilizer recommendation at no cost to the farmer. OCP Agri Booster, an end-to-end value chain solution, provides farmers with access to quality farm inputs, training and extension services, input financing and market linkage for increased farmers' productivity through stakeholder partnerships. 210,000 farmers across rice, maize, ginger, sorghum, soybean, sesame and tomato value chain have been reached since inception in 2017, and they have increased their yield by 39%. The Farm and Fortune Hub, a last-mile distribution channel solution, is aimed at creating access for farmers in underserved and interior farming communities. It provides a one-stop solution for all farmers' inputs, training and other support service needs. Attached to each hub are agri-promoters as last-mile agents who further reach the most rural areas using tricycles. OCP Nigeria has sited 55 Farm and Fortune hubs across 18 states in Nigeria, with target expansion to 500 hubs by 2025 in collaboration with partners. The Empowering African Youth EMA project is committed to raising certified young agri-community leaders who are empowered with digital soil testing kits, tricycles and electronic tablets to become agricultural experts who support smallholder farmers. There are currently 236 empowered young leaders across 18 states in Nigeria, with plans to increase to 1,800 participants by 2025. To amplify OCP's efforts in reaching more smallholder farmers and stakeholders, the Farm and Fortune Media Program employs mass media like television and radio to amplify best farm practices, community fertilizer recommendation, and use of quality farm input. The Farm and Fortune TV show currently reaches an audience of more than 30 million viewers, and it's also syndicated on @Farm and Fortune across social media platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, reaching additional 5 million people. The Farm and Fortune radio drama, titled Chronicles of Sambata, airs across 5 radio stations in Nigeria, whilst the Farmer's Daily, a 5-minute daily broadcast of helpful farming tips, is aired across 7 radio stations in Nigeria, with a listenership of over 1.5 million farmers. Through the Farm and Fortune digital platforms, farmers and stakeholders access valuable information provided by all other initiatives, such as Agri Booster, School Lab, Farm and Fortune Hub, and Agronomy via the Udongo app. On the Udongo app, users can access a broad range of information, including good agricultural practices, agronomy support services, easy access to quality farm inputs, and market linkage for farm produce. Users can also access soil fertility information in real time via the AgroPlus platform. These efforts are aimed to ultimately increase farmer productivity and develop the Nigerian agric value chain. To help achieve Nigeria's vision of self-sufficiency in fertilizer production by 2024, OCP is partnering with the federal government of Nigeria through the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, to develop a $1.5 billion industrial fertilizer plant in Nigeria. By leveraging on Nigeria's abundant supply of natural gas and OCP's access to Morocco's phosphate deposits, the industrial plant, with a capacity for producing 750,000 metric tons of ammonia and 1 million tons of phosphate fertilizer raw materials, is projected to increase the production and supply of fertilizers exponentially by 2025. OCP Africa's commitment to Nigeria will continue to manifest in the improvement of existing initiatives, market development activities, introduction to new fertilizer variants, improvement of farmers' income, food security, and overall growth of the Nigerian agricultural ecosystem. OCP Africa. We believe in Africa.
At Providence Bank, when we set out to do banking, we didn't just want to do the usual. We wanted to be different. From our ambience, which is warm and welcoming, to our operations, tailored to suit you at every touch point, we wanted to make you feel special. So we put lifestyle into banking. Open a Providence Bank account today and let's get you started on an exciting future-forward banking experience. Choose Providence Bank. Future-forward banking. At Providence Bank, when we set out to do bank.
Yes, you can give a round of applause. I think it's amazing to identify problems and beyond identify problems to actually provide solutions to these problems. So this is where we say thank you to companies like ThriveAgric, to OCP Africa, and to Providence Bank for the great work they're doing in the agricultural sector. Please, let's give a round of applause again for these companies. All right, thank you. So at this point, I'm going to be inviting Shola Daniel, who is going to be taking us on the product showcase.
I see that you guys don't like me. You guys never clap for me. All right, so we're going to be having a product showcase, right? And so the concept of this is to just allow the people that are doing exhibition outside to come and explain to you exactly what their product is and how you can be a part of it. So we're giving opportunities for exhibitors to come and talk to you directly about what their product, what the product they've been building is all about and their target audience. So we have a couple of companies here, so a couple of interesting things people are doing. We have Catfort, we have AgriArch, we have TGI, we have Crossbank, and of course, I mean, you've seen Providus, OCP, and ThriveAgric. So I think I'll be calling on the representatives from Catfort to just come and talk to us about what they do. Please put your hands together for them. Put your hands together for them. Maybe we count more, they will come out more. Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Oh, okay. Okay, my name is Adewale Shashure. I head the Value Actualization and Partnership in Cat40. So in Cat40, I'll just make this brief because we are running out of time. We are a digital solution provider for both the financial sector and the non-financial sector. So for the financial sector, we manufacture payment cards and also supply instant insurance printers. So in terms of cards, we talk about payment cards, Verve cards, MasterCard, Visa cards, and it goes beyond that. So we also do special cards. If we were present here yesterday, Providence Bank mentioned wood cards. So this kind of products we do. We do metal cards, wood cards, glow-in-the-dark cards, LED cards, even eco-friendly cards. So we try to stay out of the ordinary. We do special products. So even when it has to do with card issuance, we notice the gap between the commercial banks and MFBs and fintechs, that they didn't know how to issue cards. So we onboarded a lot of MFBs and fintechs. We take them through the process of card design, card issuance, when it has to do with the data prep. This is a lot of English when it comes to the payments part. So we take you through the user journey. We allow you to have a good customer experience. And when we talk about the non-financial parts, we also do smart cards like asset cards, school cards, even membership cards. So the unique thing about our cards are they are cards that have special features that can't be duplicated. So we have various various texts that we can include into this card, even complementary cards that can just be a single card whereby you tap on NFC-enabled phones, or you use the QR code to save informations like your phone numbers and names and all that. So that's just what we do in Card40. We also have partnership with schools whereby we do what's it called, student tracking too as well. So we have a lot of products that we offer. You can visit our website www.card40.ng, and our booth is outside. So we have some sample cards and some of our products there. Thank you.
Thank you very much from Cardfort. They've been doing amazing things. So I also believe that this is a networking event. So when the likes of Cardfort comes up and tells you about their products, I know some of us are developers working for such companies. Some of us have ideas that you might probably need his services. So this is an opportunity for you to also validate if there's anybody here that your ideas can be facilitated by. So maybe he can help you with some APIs that will help your company, or Akin from OCP can help you with some deals. So let's just keep in mind that this is a networking event, and just pay attention to the people that can really help us. Thank you very much. So the next person on the list is going to be from AgriAgric. So let's put our hands together as we call representative from AgriAgric. Please put your hands together. Put your hands together.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mary Aper. I'm from AgriAgric Limited. I'm the marketing specialist of AgriAgric Limited. What we do at AgriAgric is we are digitizing commodity trading and payments in agriculture. As we all know, agriculture is highly fragmented and highly unstructured, and we are putting structure to the system. And that is why we have created a platform called Kasua. On Kasua, agricultural ecosystem players get to trade and be financially included. 35% of the population in Nigeria is financially excluded, and 81% of them come from agriculture. So with Kasua, this ecosystem player gets access to viable markets. They get to buy their commodities, they get to sell their commodities, and also make quick payments. We have a booth outside too, so if you have any question for me, I can take you through our processes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was from AgriAgric. So they're also a tech agricultural company. Just to say something, in the tech world, we all collaborate. As you can see, there's OCP, there's ThriveAgric, there's also AgriAgric. We're all in the agricultural space. We're all using technology to facilitate it. So I think as tech people, we should always understand that there's more strides to make when you collaborate with each other. So don't just build things in silos. Talk to people about what you're building, and you'll receive help. All right. The next person on our list, we will be calling representatives from TGI. Please put your hands together for them as they come forward. Please keep clapping till they come. Representatives from TGI. Please keep clapping. She's coming forward. Please keep clapping for her. Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning. He just ambushed me because I was not expecting to say anything. I actually came to see the panel session that was holding this morning. My name is Habiba Suleiman, and I have strategic partnerships for TGI. TGI is Tropical General Investments. We're very diverse businesses. And agriculture obviously is about 70-80% of what we do. Sorry, I'm panting because he ambushed me. Yeah. So we have about 22 subsidiaries. We're in agriculture, we're in banking and finance, we're in pharmaceuticals, we're in real estate. In Lagos, you probably know Fort Bordilon, that's one of TGI's companies. And that's just here in Nigeria. So we're also in Ghana. We do commodity trading as well, lots of exports. We're in the FMCG space, so Big Bull Rice, the Terra seasoning cubes, the Terra oil, that's all of our businesses. And really for us, I think the approach is that we're also very much about backward integration, right? So we make sure that we're very present at the level of, directly working with smallholder farmers. We do outgrow programs, so that's basically how we source raw materials for our processing mills. And then obviously the entire segment of the value chain. So our businesses, you'll see that we're in certified seed production, we're in fertilizer blending, we're in agrochemicals, we're in directly, like I said, working with the farmers, and then you go up to, the processing for local and domestic and export markets. So basically in agriculture, that's what we do, but very interesting, and I love how, he sort of emphasized the importance of partnerships and networking. We think that is really the way to do more. And one of those things is because of the presence that we have in communities, we are sort of interfacing directly with a lot of the problems that these communities have. So we see, these problems they have, whether it's climate change related, whether it's inclusion related, whether it's access, to finance, financial inclusion. I forgot to mention we're also in banking and finance. So Union Bank, Titan Trust Bank. So these are things that, we try to just fill in the gaps as much as we can, whether it's with sister companies, whether it's with external companies, partners, DFIs, international organizations. We're very big on partnerships to amplify impact and see how our investments are very impact-driven, and support communities where we work. So in summary, that is what drives the work that we do. Very happy to be here to collaborate with ThriveAgric. They're doing a fantastic job. And I'm very excited to see all of the, developments in the tech system, especially as it intersects with agriculture and food and enabling trading, commodity sourcing, quality commodity sourcing, and obviously even access for smallholder farmers who do not necessarily have the kind of access that they should have to get fair pricing for their produce. So I'm very excited to be here, and thank you very much.
Please let's just keep clapping for her, please. Let's just clap for her. Thank you very much. So, and then we're going to be calling Mr. Stephen Canaby from Crossed Bank to tell us about Crossed Bank. Please put your hands together for him. Please put your hands together for him. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Steven. I work for Crossed. Like the last speaker said, she talked about ambush, so I was ambushed as well. So pardon me. So for Crossed is divided into two major companies, the fintech part and the bank. So for the bank, I manage and I head the bank. So for the bank, we are heavy on community banking. We've heard lots of people talk about agriculture, what they do in the agri space, but these farmers, they are not banked. Nobody is providing real financial services to these farmers, and that is where Crossed comes in. So at Crossed, we give communities proper banking services. We go to communities, create booths, as long as our license permits, Like a microfinance bank, like you all know, we are regulated by CBN. We all heard about the circular that came yesterday. So throughout the night, we're looking through our accounts to ensure that they are compliant. So we go to this community, set up booths, set up accounts for these community holders, provide loans. We are heavy on loans, like you know, for a normal bank. We're also heavy on other account services, like giving them ATM, giving them, putting POS in these communities. And we finance people who are aggregators, who buy from here, buy 2 bags, buy 1 truck of grains, and supply to the next community. We also give what they call jackpot loans. So we call it jackpot loans in our mini sector. So proof of funds, basically, and our rates are very competitive. For our community banking loans, our rates are very good too. For our trader loans, the loans we give to aggregators, very competitive loans, better than what the commercial banks would even give you. And our services are fast. We won't ask you to go and bring your grandfather or your grandmother before you give you a loan. So within 24 hours, you have access to loan to do whatever you want to, whatever you choose to do, provided you meet our risk acceptance criteria. So we enjoy everyone to come to our booth. I mean, we are here. Our staffs are here. Aaron is here. Moria is here. Talk to anybody in Cross that you have a loan even before you leave this this particular place that we are today. Thank you so much.
Please, let's not stop clapping for them. I think it takes a lot for we that are standing here and addressing you guys. So, just so that you guys can enjoy how we are feeling from here, we'll just do like a little activity now. So, how many of you were here yesterday? If you know you came for the first session, can we just see your hand? We have some gifts for you. I can see one. I can see. Can you just raise your hands up so that they can see? Okay, I can see a couple of people. So the ushers are just around. Someone that raised his hand there, I think you. Could you just maybe stand up and tell us maybe something you got from yesterday? I saw someone put his hand there behind. Okay, look at someone. Someone is putting his hands up. So just tell us something that you learned from yesterday, maybe the breakout sessions or the panel sessions. Thank you. So just introduce yourself, tell us what you do so that in case people here want your services, they can help. And then go ahead to tell us what you do.
My name is Ibrahim Shiu Alasupo. I'm from Shinomi Information Technology Development. I'm a blockchain advocate and program manager. So yesterday I learned about how to use blockchain in farming, in agriculture. During the breakout section, sorry I've forgotten his name. He said we can use blockchain to store agricultural information since it is centralized and decentralized. So instead of like putting wrong input, you can input you can input accurate value without being tempered using blockchain. So you can use artificial intelligence also by like programming it to tell you when it's a season to farm, it's season not to farm, the kind of fertilizer you're going to use for your produce, when to harvest, when not to harvest, and the likes. Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for him. Please keep clapping for him. He's one of you. So it's not me you're clapping for now. You're clapping for one of you guys. All right. So I saw someone else here. She came yesterday first. Okay, him first, then her. Just kindly tell us what you learned from the breakout sessions.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Nelson. I'm a data analyst. So I actually learned a lot yesterday. One of the things I learned is that it's not just enough to wake up and design a product. You have to build a product that is customer-centric. Your innovation has to, be geared and tailored towards the customer. You need to ask yourself questions. Who are your customers? What's the purchasing behavior of the customers? How does your innovation change the customer or make the life of your customer easier? And also, I learned, especially during the breakout session, I learned that it takes time to build something sustainable. It's not just something that you can do overnight. It takes time to be sustainable. And the problem with building super fast, like many of us want, is that we tend to build with so much holes and so much issues that by the time you get big, you might not be able to go back and fix those ones. So it's important that you take your time to build what you're building so that it's sustainable.
Yeah, let's put our hands together for him. Okay, so just before we go on to someone is here and there, I mean, that's a very important question, very important comment. You can't just keep building things. I think we've been emphasizing this so much. Like you see, everybody that's come here to talk about a successful tech also have a business arm. Like you see OCP is saying that they went to the business first, and now after they figured out the business, they're building tech for the business. Same thing with Catford. Figured out the business, and then they build the tech. So if you're building tech, every one of us here, developer, PM, designers, always keep in mind that you need to understand the business first before you can build a tech to support it. So thank you very much. Next, okay, her and then someone there. And I think that's all. Thank you very much, everyone. Please put your hands together for everyone that's been talking. Thank you.
Okay, still morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jamila Mahdi, and I work for Mercy Corp. Yesterday, in order to build an Africa that feeds itself, everybody was here yesterday to contribute to that. One of my key learning and takeaway from yesterday, and it's for everyone, is we have the government, we have implementing partners like us, we also have private sector partners, we have people that have different ideas on how to leverage or on how to smoothen that activities that will reach the smallholder farmer, the last mile, right? The next thing for us to do, and we have fintechs, the next thing for us to do is to collaborate. We're not competing, we're not in a competition, but let's collaborate. I was telling my chief of party yesterday that collaboration is a big word, but how effective and how intentional are we to collaborate? That is one thing I got from yesterday, and my jota is a bit filled with trying to get more partners to also kind of poach and take them down to the north. Thank you.
Put your hands together for Mexico. People are not clapping. Mexico just said she's here to fund some people, give some people money, and nobody's clapping. All right, so thank you very much. That was very good. We need to collaborate because the sky is big enough for everyone. So if you have any ideas, you can walk up to someone that's done it before and ask him for advice. The person will tell you. Thank you. And so final person is there. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gladys. I'm a data analyst. What I actually learned from, especially the panel section, was if you're trying to build a startup business, it's good to start gradually other than taking up like a tornado. And one of the things I discovered I learned also is if you take up like a tornado, there might be some loopholes that you might not recognize, but if you are starting gradually, you'll be able to notice those loopholes and fix them up before you grow higher. And in the breakout section, also I learned that if you are having a startup, it's not advisable to collect a large amount of loan to pump into the business. It's better you start and test your product and see that it is acceptable in the society and is bringing a kind of profitability to the society before you decide to pump him enough money into it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him. Yeah, so it's very, very amazing that we all heard, or we all have learnings, and very good learnings from the yesterday's session. It means that this program to us is a success. Because for us, what we are looking at is to educate us, to inspire us. I mean, that's the theme of the event, to innovate, impact, inspire, and collaborate. So that's the whole theme of the event. So if at the end of the event, we're all inspired to walk up to people, talk about our ideas, and collaborate, that is a very, very good win for us. So put your hands together for yourselves, please. Also put your hands together for OCP, put your hands together for Providence Bank, put your hands together for all the breakout speakers, all everybody that's come to talk to you. They took their time to come and impact us with knowledge. All right, thank you so much. I think we've been having fun. So next, I'll be calling my co-host, Jessica, to take us on the next part of the program. Please put your hands together for her. When I'm coming back, please put your hands together for me too.
Thank you, Shola. Thank you, everyone. I think it's quite exciting to see that we're really learning a lot, and all the time taken here is not wasted. All the efforts of the speakers pouring into everyone. I was so excited to hear from the audience what you learned. It's extremely amazing. All right, so moving to the next part of the event, we're going to have our keynote address on tech leadership and global impact. And the speaker for this event is Mr. Umar Obasi, who is the head of supply chain for Nigeria, OCP Africa. I'm just going to read his profile for us now. Mr. Umar Obasi currently is serving as the head of supply chain for OCP Nigeria, where he brings to bear over 2 decades of experience in supply chain management of various international companies with an educational foundation in engineering from the University of Lagos. He has honed his skills and expertise to navigate the complexities of supply chain in Nigeria. His main focus is the optimization of supply chain processes and driving efficiency. He has played a pivotal role in ensuring seamless operations by fostering strategic partnerships with the supply chain ecosystem. The wealth of experience gathered over the years provides him a keen understanding of the agricultural value and the fertilizer industry in particular. He is a fellow of the African Center for Supply Chain, ASCS. So please, with a warm round of applause, let's welcome Mr. Umar Obasi. Please keep clapping till he gets here. You can be inspired to stand as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was told to prepare a keynote address. I said, how long should the address be? They told me it would be 3 hours. And so are you guys prepared for a 3-hour address? Okay. How many minutes do you want it to be? 30 minutes? 5 minutes? Okay, I'll do the 5 minutes one. And where's my teleprompter? I know when presidents go to, I'm not president yet, but when presidents go to speak, there's something that stands here and stands there where they just read and make it seem as though it's coming from their head. They're actually reading it. So you will allow me to read my own from here. But there was a West African president that went to give a keynote address somewhere, and privately he had been trying to learn some Asake songs. And when they asked him to give a flash drive of the speech so they can display it for him, he forgot that the disc had the Asake lyrics. So when he went up stage and decided I wanted to speak, the lyrics, the speech he was singing was Asake's lyrics. So I had to make sure that my speech is here. I had to check it the last minute to make sure it's not Asake's songs. Okay, the topic of my talk is tech leadership and global impact. The theme for this event is right there. Innovate, impact, inspire, collaborate. And those words are quite simple to understand. When you innovate, you will have an impact. And that impact will obviously lead to more inspiration. And you can only achieve most of what you want to achieve through collaboration. In this ever-evolving world, technology has become a driving force behind the progress and change that we're seeing in the world today. From the invention of the wheel to the invention of the computer, there has been many changes leading up to the current state where we are now in the age of AI. Today, we find ourselves in the forefront of a new era where the possibilities seem endless and the potentials for a global impact is greater than before. Everybody here is a leader, as they say, and our interest in tech makes us all tech leadership. And tech leadership goes beyond just goes just beyond innovation. It is about driving change and making a positive difference in the world. As leaders, we must not only focus on the bottom line, but we must consider the ethical and social and environmental implications of our actions. One of the crucial aspects of tech leadership is fostering inclusivity. In the world of today, even though we are very much connected, we are also beginning to see how diverse that we are. Our interconnectivity is also beginning to expose our diversity. We are beginning to see people who are not like us. What tech has also done is to make sure that we embrace those differences, regardless of where we find ourselves. Another crucial element of tech leadership is sustainability. As we continue to develop technologies, it is imperative that we do so with a mindful eye towards the environment. One can ask, what impact does tech have on the environment? There are two aspects to it. There is the positive aspect and there is the negative aspect. Everybody knows that data centers consume a lot of energy, and definitely they'll have a negative footprint on that aspect. But tech also has provided a platform to solve most of the technological problems, especially as regarding the change in the climate, as regarding climatic change. Furthermore, we cannot exist in a vacuum, and partnership is key in the global impact. By working together with government and organizations and individuals, we can leverage our collective knowledge, resources, and expertise to tackle the most pressing global challenges. The impact of technology on global leadership and society has been profound and far-reaching. There are 6 aspects I would like to spend a little time talking about. There is the communication and the connectivity. There is the democratization of information. There is globalization and market expansion. There is automation and efficiency. There is the societal impact on the digital divide, and obviously the ethical considerations as well. On the aspect of communication and connectivity, technology has revolutionized communication, breaking down barriers of time and distance. Leaders can now connect and collaborate with individuals and teams across the globe instantly. And when you talk about communication and connectivity, often the most common one everybody will think about is Twitter, now known as X. But we also have our own Elon Musks in Nigeria, or of Nigerian origin. I would imagine there are some of us here who know about Calendly. Calendly is a platform that is developed by a Nigerian, Tokwe Awotono, and he's one of the top leading change leaders in the world currently. So the impact a Nigerian can have on the tech field cannot be underestimated. As it comes to the democratization of information, the digital age has democratized access to information. I remember way back in the early 2000s when the Guardian newspaper, it was still being sold as hard copy, but Guardian newspaper decided to go online. And most people were asking, the revenue model of a newspaper is you sell, and then you sell through vendors and you make your money. But organizations like Guardian were at the forefront or in Nigeria of putting their newspapers online. And that kind of changed the revenue model and also made news instantly available to those who had access to internet at that time. So you didn't have to queue to buy. You didn't queue to buy newspaper, but I remember if you're buying newspaper, you have to spend time chatting with the vendor. But by putting their newspaper online, it became accessible to anybody at any time. There are other industry leaders in that aspect in the current age, as we so to speak. Steers business, led by Abdurrahman and his co-founders, and as well as Nairametrics, led by Ugo Dre. These organizations are leading the Nigerian space in providing analytical information to the marketplace. Also, in the aspect of globalization and expansion, technology has fueled globalization and enabling leaders to extend their reach beyond borders through e-platform. I'm sure everybody here has heard about Jumia. Jumia was also a company co-founded by a Nigerian and a Ghanaian, Kofi Afedo and Tunde Kehinde. And we also know other organizations like Kobo 360 by Obi Ozo. These are leaders who have taken a look at their own space of influence and brought a new manner of approach to that. Also, we can talk about how Flutterwave, a Nigerian fintech company, is enabling seamless online transactions, and its success is not just a local triumph. It showcases how tech, when nurtured, can transcend borders and foster growth. It's also worthy to mention about Paystack and all the others. So in the view of global expansion, Nigerian leaders in tech are also in the forefront. Then we can talk about automation and efficiency. Technological advancements such as automation, artificial intelligence, or AI, as we say, and machine learning have transformed industries, streamlining processes and increasing efficiency. Leaders can leverage these technologies to optimize operations and reduce costs and enhance productivity. Yesterday, we also heard how Sudo Africa, is providing APIs that enable businesses to embed powerful financial features to their products. Companies like Keeper as well is providing business and bookkeeping services to both medium and small scale companies. Then on the facet of societal impact and the digital divide, this is where companies like Thrive and OCP and providers and the other operators here today like Crossed and Spark Africa are trying to reduce the digital divide between basically the haves and the have-nots. The agricultural space is dominated by subsistence farmers who do not have access to technology. What these organizations are doing is to provide platforms for farmers to have access to the various types of data and information in a timely manner that would enable them move from subsistence farming to a farming level that can impact their livelihood as individuals and also to the GDP of Nigeria. So we would really thank founders like Oka AJ and Ayodeji and other great leaders in the agric field for the great job they are doing in that aspect. When it comes to ethical considerations, on June 12 this year, the President signed into law the Data Protection Act, which now requires companies to handle the data of their clients, should I say professionally, in a manner that does not expose them to any risk. And as we can see by the numbers, these tech companies handle large volumes of personal data. This act that was signed into law this year now lays a heavy burden on these tech companies to show leadership in the management of data of individuals. Now it's a very what's the word now? It's a very serious issue if your staff goes to talk to farmers and collects their data and somebody steals that data, your company can be liable to legal action by the individuals whose data were captured. The law also now requires you need to ask somebody, can I take your information? So when you go to interact with farmers, you actually need to have their consent before you can take their number, before you can take their address, before you can take the geolocation of their farms. So the tech leaders in this aspect have this ethical consideration to deal with in the line of their business, and I'm sure they are capable and they have the proper technology to implement this regulation. So as we navigate the tech-driven era, and we need to appreciate these leaders who are sculpting the digital landscape. All of you here are leaders. Your impact isn't confined to the boardrooms, as we have said. It echoes in the economies and touches lives globally, from Silicon Valley to Yaba Valley. Yes, that's what we call our own Silicon Valley. And companies like ThriveAgric, OCP need to continue to show leadership and manage the supply chains in a manner that improves the livelihoods of every farmer in Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Thank you. I'd like to call on Mr. Akinwade, who is the head of business development at OCP Africa, to please come and tell us a little bit more about their products. Please give a round of applause for him. Thank you.
So permit me to say I was ambushed also. So I'll try and do this very quickly, just to talk again about Udongo. Udongo, one of the things I didn't say yesterday was that Udongo actually in Swahili means earth. So it means what's the source. And as OCP, our biggest asset is not even just the fertilizers, is nourishing the earth. And we must keep it as a very big asset, because we think that is the asset that will help grow agricultural production and do a whole lot more for us. So Udongo is a platform, like we always say. It's more than an app. It's run like an app, but it is a platform. And it's a platform because it allows many players to come together. We talk about collaboration today, and we think that one of the key ways to collaborate as far as technology is concerned is to build, the good part is technology has built different things to allow collaboration, APIs, basically people creating apps together. And that's what we're trying to do with Udongo. We call it a platform that excites a lot of players to leverage on the opportunities that we have in the digital space. So I'll talk about a few of the features that it has, and I can walk away from here. By the way, there are videos at the back that shows you quite a lot of things that Udongo does. But what we try to do is to follow the farmer's journey. What are the critical things that the average farmer needs? Now, we have not been able to put Udongo in the hands of the farmers because we know that the appreciation of digital technology in Nigeria hasn't gotten that far. But we've put it in the hands of people we call extension agents, people we like to call agri-promoters, who promote agriculture, who can then extend this kind of service onto farmers. And what do they do? What are the services they extend? One, access to inputs. So can they be able to get inputs? Can they be able to see inputs online? Access retail outlets where they can buy those inputs. Access to agronomy knowledge. OCP is very big on agronomy, and so we've built a lot of content of agronomy. A rice farmer can come to Udongo and say how to plant rice, what to do, so he can be able to get that knowledge. Also, there's access to weather information. But like we say, it's not just access to weather information. Everyone can bring access to weather information. Everyone can bring access to weather information, but I think the critical thing is, how do you translate the weather information? How does the farmer use that knowledge he has found that, it's going to rain today? What does that translate to? What is he supposed to do? And that's exactly what we try to do with Udongo. Also, there's access to agri-promoters' help. Can you get advisory services from different people? Can you use the app to find those kind of people? Can you use the app to find the nearest retail centers? Also, because we're also very big on soil fertility, can you also use our soil fertility feature to find out the average? I mean, we try to tell people that it's as basic as when you see the NPK fertilizer, it's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those are the basic nutrients. They're also micronutrients that the plant needs. But because of usage over the years, the soil has lost value in some of those nutrients. So what the soil test does is to say, in this particular location, how much of N has been depleted, how much of P has been depleted, how much of K has been depleted. That's first knowledge. Second knowledge is, I am planting maize. What does maize need in terms of N? What does maize need in terms of P? What does maize need in terms of K? Fuse those knowledge together, and then you can recommend what the person planting maize in Kaduna needs differently from the person planting maize in Katsina. So that's another thing that we're able to use technology to do, because we have gathered this data over the years. And because we've gathered this data over the years, it means that because apps also allows geolocation, the app knows where you are. So the app can say, okay, I am in Hadejia. And because I'm here, I can get the information for this place, and then we can make recommendations. So that's another thing we try to do with that. I think beyond that, and having an e-commerce solution in the app that allows you buy and sell, and I've talked about agronomy content. Basically, these are features, but we don't like to stop in all the things that we have today. We also talk about the things we can have tomorrow. Because of partnerships with developers like you and I, people who can come and say, okay, I want to develop this particular feature. Can we work together with Udongo? Today we have, a feature that allows you to take coordinates of, farmlands. Everybody does that. But can we do that in a better way? And so that's why we're also open to collaborations, and we're happy to hear from everybody. So Udongo is the source. It's the meaning of Udongo means the earth, so that we don't change the name. I've had Udongo, I've had Udon, it's Udongo. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right, so at this point, I would like to introduce an amazing initiative by ThriveAgric called TAP. TAP means the Tech Accelerated Program. This project is for young people that would like to develop skills that, need jobs, don't know what to do. TAP is that program for you, right? So TAP is different because you have access to some of the speakers here and moderators. So imagine having access to people in a classroom. You can ask so many questions. You can have so many interactions beyond just a program like this. So I'd like us to take advantage of this. Please, let's look to the screen for more information about TAP.
Caleb, I signed up for the front-end development track.
Hello, my name is Mabel Obuchi, software engineering back-end track.
Hi guys, my name is Praise Ndu and I'm from product design track.
What stood out for me in this program was that it was physical. I had the opportunity of having real-time classes. Before now, I took some courses virtually, but there was no physical mentor. Sometimes I got stuck and all that. Also, the program was structured. We went from basic to intermediate level and kept on advancing.
I really loved the mentorship in the program. Like most times, whenever I have an issue and I cannot solve it, and I don't know who to run to, I just dump whatever I'm doing and I don't pick it up again. But the TAP program has really taught me the essence of community. If I can't solve a problem, I go to my colleagues. If they can't solve it, we take it to our instructor, and our instructors are always available, or we're always available to really help us. They may not always teach us like how to go about it or what to do exactly. They don't really spoon feed us, I think that's the word. They do not spoon feed us, but they're just like, oh, hi, this is what you should have done. Your folder structure is not aligned, this and this and this and all of that. I think that really made me very happy.
What stood out for me, aside from the physical training that it was, what stood out for me was the tutors. Our tutors were absolutely amazing. Like, for some of us that didn't have any knowledge prior to the class, they went to the very foundation and they started afresh to teach us. So it's like all of us, we all started afresh, we all learned afresh, in as much as there were some people who had little knowledge prior to the class. All of them, we all started together again, and it was really amazing. Now, all the teachers, when I say all the teachers are really amazing, because there was this that I was really discouraged, and then Dozie walked into the class, and then he was like, nobody should give up, nobody should give up. Nobody should give up. Nobody, don't give up. Better don't quit. You will make money. And then I was sitting down, then I was like, oh my God, this guy doesn't know how much he has encouraged my life today. So it's really been an amazing journey, and this was really one thing that stood out for me. Thank you.
The curriculum was designed by industry experts. People actually are working real time and working on real life projects, which actually help the students to actually navigate difference between hobby project and real life projects. Yeah, the curriculum was designed by industry experts. Guys are actually working real life projects. So it shows the interns, the real difference between working on hobby projects and working on real life projects with the team. It also helped the TAP students and interns to actually bootstrap their network within the tech space because these tutors, they're all experts, they already have their own connection, so the student can also leverage on their own connection, attend events, collaborate with other people in the industry, which foster and actually expedite their learning process. Going forward, we'll be moving into areas like ML and AI because we want our students to be well equipped for changes in tech space.
It's no news that everyone wants to enter tech. I mean, everyone desires to join the tech space. But one of the major issues is that we find out that a good number of them are not ready to provide solutions. They are just in for different reasons, right? So one of the challenges we faced doing interviews for to fill up some roles is that we find people that are not suited and ready to provide solutions. So that's what gave us the idea to start up the TAP program, which is the Tech Talent Accelerated Program. Now, the Tech Talent Accelerated Program actually kicked off, we started pilot phase earlier this year, and then we have over 4,000 plus people apply for the program, and then we had quite a rigorous, selection process, right? We had interviews where we had to screen them, then we had IQ-based tests to check how smart these guys are. Now, they knew little or nothing about tech, but the idea was just to see if they were ready to grow in this space, because we want people that are going to provide solutions, not necessarily people that just want to, enter in, get the money or whatever it is. So, and then we got very awesome guys, very beautiful, awesome guys that were able to, that we trained, for this pilot phase, and then they came out very, very great, right? And then during the TAP program, one of the things we ensured to do was to have very quality capacity development programs. We trained them on different soft skills. We trained them. We had times we took them out just to give them some form of exposure. We had, external trainers come around to train them on how to build product, to sell product, how to, be effective communicators and in various areas, right? And trust me, these things left them strong, left them better than ever before.
Thank you very much. Let's feel free to tap our hands together for that initiative. All right, so I would like to let you know that you'd also have live products to work on and potential internship opportunities to work with Thrive and the partners. There would also be a techathon today, and there'll be amazing prizes. There's a cash prize of 2 million naira, a lot of money, as we've been saying today. So please hold on, have a good time. At this point, I would like to call up Shola Daniels for the next part of the program. Thank you.
I promise you, if you guys didn't clap, I would have waited here. Thank you guys for clapping. Please clap for yourselves. It's for yourselves. Thank you so much. So, thank you. As Jessica said, the TAP project, Tech Talent Accelerated Program, was hosted by ThriveAgric in partnership with OCP, Providence Bank, and some other partners, some other stakeholders. And the purpose is to, like the video said, train very quality talent. So as opposed to just taking courses online and going to Udemy or Coursera, you're going to have personal trainings, you're going to have physical trainings. Some of the moderators that were here, some of you said the breakout sessions were great. So some of those breakout sessions, the speakers that were there, as you can see in the video, they were part of the TAP project. We called them to interact with these people. So you guys should look forward to it. It's a very interesting thing, it's a very interesting initiative. And I think this last one was free, so it was totally free to do. We literally train people for free. So I think it's a great initiative. So put your hands together for Thrive and all the partners. All right, so just still talking on the TAP project. So we just want to go down some memory lane because that's kind of what today is all about. As Jessica said, we will be handling and hosting Techathon where the TAP students, we're going to see if they actually learned anything in the last 6 months. And so they're going to be competing with other people. We're going to see everything they've learned, the front-end engineers, the back-end engineers, the designers. We'll see all their products. And we here will judge them and see if it's worth the 6 months of learning. All right, so, let's go down memory lane a bit. Let's see some of the things that happen and some of the activities that happen during the Tech Talent Acceleration Program. Please watch the video.
Hi, my name is Adin Ranimota. I'm a front-end developer and I heard about this TAP program from a friend. I jumped at the opportunity, hoping to expand my skills as a front-end developer and to also contribute to an environment like this, to the tech space like this.
My name is David Moore. I'm into back-end development. I'm from TAP. I'm hoping to gain necessary skills that help me achieve that.
Please put your hands together for the TAP project. As you can see in the videos, they were very intensive sessions. We invited people to train them not only on building a product, but building a product that works and also understanding the business. So, like every single person that spoke today, I spoke yesterday about understanding business, came together and formed a curriculum that touches every single point. Before we just move on to the next session, I would like to open up for the audience if you would like to ask 1 or 2 questions about the TAP project. So maybe just 3, 4 people, if you have any questions. Or before I go on, are there any questions about this TAP project? If you have any, just raise up your hand. And if there are no questions, we can move forward. So if you have any questions about TAP project, please raise up your hand. You can just ask us here, and then we'll answer. If not, we can move on to the next session. Okay, there's someone here. Ushers, please do come.
My name is Oba Siva. I just want to know the technology that is being used for the project, as for the TAP project, for your backend development.
Okay. All right. Which other question do you have? So that then I'll call the organizers of the TAP project to answer.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rita Moye. I'm a graphics designer / video editor. So the question I have for TAP would be, when is it opening and how can one register? Also, I want to ask if there is an opportunity for people that might be looking into project management as well. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions? One more. Okay, there's one more here, I think.